Wade and Wade reacts.
Subscriber asked to check out, I think they said he's the most powerful or the best character in Warhammer in their opinion. So let's get into it.
People are always debating who is the most OP entity in Warhammer 40k. Is it the Emperor, Khorne, the Void Dragon, the Hive Mind? But I'm going to throw in my own little Pokemon into this battle and make a strong case for Trazyn, everyone's favourite lovable undead space Egyptian Ash Ketchum cosplayer, as I believe he is actually the most powerful character in the setting, with abilities and feats which put the other heavy hitters to shame. By the end of this video you'll be like, holy shit Major Kill, Trazyn really is the Warhammer 40,000, or your money back. Today we'll go over why Trazyn is so goddamn powerful, showing off his feats, abilities and power from the lore. Let's get into it. I want to work my way up his power levels, starting with the normie stuff, before getting into the Autismo pew pew holy shittiest stuff. But first, who is Trazyn? Our boy is a Necron overlord who was one of the first Necrons to wake up since the War in Heaven, meaning he was active and fully conscious during the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy, finding the latter to be an extremely entertaining affair. Now most Necrons who awoke early, with the true awakening date being the current setting, not around the Great Crusade, they would suffer from dementia and malfunction, but Trazyn awoke with 100% of his faculties intact because he's just dope as hell like that. Trazyn is an extremely curious kleptomaniac, traveling the galaxy in order to collect and document literally everything. He is like a Warhammer nerd with infinite money, infinite time and a good airbrush, buys every army and spends all his time assembling and displaying them. He has collected guardsmen from every regiment, armor from every Space Marine chapter, and pretty much every weapon type ever forged. But beyond that, he has also collected some seriously hectic shit as well, like a Krork, a Solitaire, multiple Custodians, an Enslaver, an ancient Cainite warrior, just to name a few. The dude has even collected fucking fleets, all of which is stored and displayed in the Solomon's Galleries, which is basically a world-spanning museum. As an overlord, Trazyn enjoys many powerful benefits. If you slay him, his consciousness will return intact.
I was thinking the same
tomb
thing.
world where a new body will be forged for him. He also has 100% of his willpower and can command thousands of Necron warriors at any given time. But overlords really aren't that impressive in the grand scheme of things. They are often beaten by Space Marine captains or Terminators, warrior types that Trazyn finds it fun to fuck with. No, what really sets Trazyn apart is three things: his unique upgrades, his Pokemon, and his attitude towards everything. I'll start with his upgrades. Trazyn is actually a fucking monster on the battlefield due to various technologies and weapons he uses. His Obliterator staff is considered to be one of the most powerful weapons in the entire galaxy. It's called the Emphatic Obliterator, and if Trazyn hits a single unit with it, that unit's entire squad will also die, as it reflects that damage to all nearby creatures that are of the same unit type as the unit that was hit. So if Trazyn gets attacked by 50 gaunts, hitting one will fry all 50. This staff is also capable of parrying and damaging Catan shards, as evident when Trazyn went toe-to-toe with the Transcendent Deceiver in melee combat, a style of combat that Trazyn loathes. It's said that his staff was a special experiment, combining Necron tech with Old One tech, hence its fucking bonkers power. On top of that, Trazyn also borrowed a special cloak, without asking of course, that would give him time warping abilities. Not time travel per se, but the cloak could predict danger and also counter time traveler effects. He originally borrowed it to help in his rivalry with Orokin as
the Spidey sense.
Chronomancer, aka
That's what it seems like.
but it came in handy in
Precognition.
the fucking Catan shard as well. A very unique power Trazyn possesses that no other Necron does, like many Necrons have discussed their jealousy over Trazyn having this power, is his ability to have surrogate hosts. Trazyn can, at a moment's notice, possess the body of one of his underlings. This underling will then be reshaped into Trazyn with all of his weapons and armor and powers intact, meaning Trazyn can basically teleport to anywhere where one of his surrogates are at a given moment, and it also means that he is like really hard to kill, as he will often flee one body before its destruction to enter into one of his surrogates. In serious circumstances, he can activate numerous surrogates at one time, like some kind of Naruto clone jutsu, and have dozens of Trazyns on a battlefield at one time. So you've got a Necron overlord who can teleport and clone himself with a literal god tier weapon and the ability to sense danger via his time cloak. That is someone who you do not want to fight with. But the kicker is that Trazyn's weakest aspect of himself is his physical prowess. He will rarely ever engage in this kind of primitive combat, and would rather just set 1,000 traps or schemes to defeat his enemy rather than beat them to death. This brings me to my next power point. Trazyn being a fucked up Pokemon trainer. When Trazyn captures stuff, he does so with insane ease. Like, all he does is throw a Pokeball and everyone in like 100 square meters gets sucked in. Once, when he was stealing an Elder Maiden World's Heart Crystal because he wanted it, an Exodite Elder Warhost was charging at him. It had elite Exodite Knights riding dinosaurs, as well as a Farseer Witch riding a T-Rex. He simply just threw a Pokeball and captured the entire Warhost with zero effort. He has done this time and time again, capturing millions of combatants mid-battle.
Wish you would have
If it's a
pictures up there to
particularly
show
spicy
those
unit like a
things.
Custodian,
Yeah, me
he can
too.
just focus
I
on
wonder
that
if that
single
ball
one unit
in the
and
middle of
bam,
his staff
got
is
it.
that
He has
thing
like
he
unlimited
throws out.
fucking AoE Master Balls out of the wazoo, and there really doesn't seem to be anything to counter it. The only thing he generally doesn't Pokeball are demons or warp entities. I mean, it's confirmed that he could if he wanted to, but bringing those back to the
He's super
gallery would
powerful.
eventually cause issues. As an example, he threw away the Black Bell of Saint Gestal, a super corrupted artifact, because it was annoying him. He actually threw it into the webway because nothing gets Trazyn's dick harder than fucking with the Elder. The thing is though, he doesn't just display everything he catches. Once caught, Trazyn will implant his Pokemon with Mind Shackle Scarabs. These Scarabs don't just lobotomize the victims and make them useless slaves. They still maintain their consciousness, but they are subtly influenced to follow Trazyn's instructions. For example, a squad of Space Marines he is shackled will engage the enemy instead of the Necrons they are fighting alongside just out of instinct. They literally just won't register the Necrons as a threat.
That's
So with
pretty
this in
good right
mind,
there.
at any given
Yeah, it
moment,
is.
Trazyn
Pretty good
can throw
explanation.
armies at you. During his hectic battle with a transcendent Catan shard,
What the
Oracle said
heck?
to Trazyn, "Mate, you better have brought a fucking army." To which Trazyn replied, "My dear colleague, I brought 5. Fuck, that part of the lore was so awesome. Trazyn just throwing out army after army. Gene Stealer cultists, guardsmen, that Exodite Warhost he captured 10,000 years prior. This
So the
isn't just a
Necrons
one-off
aren't
either.
united.
When he was on Cadia, trying to stop the
That's
opening of the Great
surprising
Rift as a
that
bit
they
of a
all
side quest,
were
which he
to- I
found
thought they were
castly
all together.
obnoxious, he threw out Space Marine forces that dated back to the Horus Heresy. These Astartes were a bit confused, but they saw Space Marines in their colours and Space Marines with tentacles and horns, and they knew who to shoot. Dude even threw out a Custodian during this battle, and the Golden Giant proceeded to go to town on the bad guys. All of this though is Trazyn being extremely conservative with his Pokemon. These are like the bottom tier in terms of power of what he can do. Imagine he just says fuck it and throws out a Krork, a 12-meter tall Uber Orc, with the strength to crush a Primarch, nigh unbreakable armor, and weapons that were designed to kill gods. Not only would that thing just completely rampage through entire armies, but its mere existence would send a turbo shockwave throughout the galaxy's war, drawing billions of orcs to it who wished to witness a demigod reborn, who in turn would then grow larger and smarter. Or imagine he throws out the perfect clone of Fulgrim, randomly bringing a new semi-loyalist Primarch back to the setting. Fuck it, imagine he throws out the Hive Fleet that he once captured for a laugh. Now obviously Trazyn doesn't want
That's
to throw these things
crazy.
as A, it could destabilize the galaxy, and B, these are some of his favorite displays, but if the man unleashed everything, no holding back, his enemy would be turbo fucked. Like imagine
So he has
Gilligan
a
and his
Primarch
honor guard charging
in his
Trazyn.
collection?
He could legitimately
Yeah.
just Pokeball them or throw a Krork at them. What are you going to do in that situation except just eat turbo shit? All of this power is enhanced even further by Trazyn's attitude. Trazyn wants to have a fun galaxy that isn't too hard to navigate, so he can go around and steal interesting shit to add to his museum in the hopes that he can one day open it up for people to come and see. To this end, he tried and nearly succeeded in stopping the opening of the Great Rift by allowing Call to unlock the secrets of the Blackstone pylons. Trazyn also once said in passing that the Imperium should let him take the Emperor as he believes he could much better preserve or even restore him, which based on Necron tech and all the insane shit Trazyn has in his museum, I wouldn't actually be surprised. You know how I spoke about that Deceiver Catan that Trazyn fought? Well, upon beating him, he took a shard for himself and now uses it to power his museum. The kicker is that he is constantly chatting to it and interrogating it, shifting through what are lies and what are truths. He is even feeding it smaller Deceiver shards as rewards for it sharing its knowledge with him, despite the fact that that is making it harder and harder to contain. But Trazyn doesn't care, he just turns up the containment field power. Trazyn is so aloof and hyper-fixated on what he wants that it honestly wouldn't surprise me if one day he accidentally killed Abaddon and saved the galaxy because one of the joysticks in the Vengeful Spirits command deck was a one-of-one model that Trazyn wanted, so he accidentally murks the War Master of Chaos to get it. As a funny side note that pretty much perfectly encapsulates Trazyn, one time he was super mad at Orokin for fucking him over, so he spent centuries entirely focused on bypassing Orokin's defense network until he was eventually able to materialize in Orokin's room, where he proceeded to shoot Orokin in the face before leaving.
So is
Orokin
dude a
simply
greater
could
threat,
do
or
one
he just a
time to undo
collector?
damage, or just heal as he is a Necron.
Seems like
Or
more of a
worst-case
collector.
scenario, regenerate a new body. So it literally did nothing except satisfy Trazyn's petty rage, which I thought
But it
was
also seems
hilarious.
like he
Speaking
may be
of
a threat when he
Orokin,
wants
Trazyn
to.
is a genius, probably the smartest being in the galaxy. He was able to stalemate a court case against Orican, despite the fact that Orican kept rewinding time in the court every time he lost, as Trazyn was so smart that he continually countered all of Orican's arguments until Orican eventually settled for a draw because he could not outwit Trazyn. Another note I need to mention is that at the end of the Infinite and the Divine book, during the epilogue, skip ahead 20 seconds if you want to avoid spoilers, Orican has figured out how to become an energy god for short periods of time under very specific circumstances. He wishes to destroy Trazyn and his tomb world due to Trazyn being a sneaky shit and going against his agreement with Orican. The book ends with Orican becoming this god and preparing to imminently strike, yet Trazyn is still in the setting and his museum, as far as I can tell, is still intact. So Trazyn was able to counter an attack by a fucking god, a god who easily tore apart and defeated a transcendent Katanshah.
Threats like these, how can humanity even fight
Trazyn can
against
destroy
this?
armies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Armies,
Can the Emperor beat threats of this magnitude?
Who has the ability
Not in
to
his current
defeat
state.
gods. The best part is that all he wants to do is show people his collection, with all of his power being collected due to his desire to protect and grow his museum, so one day people can appreciate it. Fuck me, that's wholesome.
This guy right here, I don't know, can you call him a guy anymore? He's a robot now, but I don't really understand this character. I know they said that he's a collector. Is he a greater threat to humanity? Because if he is, I don't think they can beat him. They said that he even has stuff that can take out a Primarch, and right now the Primarchs, I think only like 3 of them are still around. The Primarchs are the only thing holding back the greater enemies from beating everybody else. Now, I would like to read a book, because I feel like a character like this would be an enemy of the Inquisition. I would like to read a book about Death Watch. Could be one already out there trying to assassinate this guy. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, that would be cold, and it would be a super hard task. I wonder if Death Watch could infiltrate his museum.
Yeah, that'd be a nice story. If anybody is out there want to write it, go ahead and do that. I'll read it.
And if they did infiltrate the museum and a fight broke out, would that mess up some of the shields that are holding some of the people back in his collection? But even if they do break the shields, they're under Trazyn's control, so that would be super bad for them.
Yeah, it had to be a quiet mission, because if he catches you, it's over. You might as well add yourself to his collection.
Yeah, like you said, though, if this guy is an enemy of the Imperium of Man, and he decides to go on a full-on attack, it would be over, because his museum even has some of the most powerful soldiers from the Imperium, like Custodes and other forces that the Imperium produces. Plus, he has other intergalactic entities that are more powerful than the forces of the Imperium of Man, and more power. He has actual swarms of Tyranids, right, in his museum. It's like this guy right here has everything. He might be the most powerful character in all of Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, he's really a good villain, but does it seem like he's an active villain? Like, if he's trying to get something, you just happen to be in his way, then you're gonna have to fight him. One thing I want to know for the Warhammer fans, you know, the guys that read all 400 books, or close to all 400 Warhammer books, is this really the most powerful character, or are there other characters out there that you would think, or is more powerful than this guy?
That's a good question. Let us know the answer to that in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss a video from Wade and Wade Reacts.
And we're out of here.
Peace.